Hello, I'm Jacob. Thank you for visiting our Toastmasters YouTube page to learn more about using Zoom during our meetings. Since 1924, more than 4 million people have gained the confidence to speak and communicate to others in almost any circumstance. Here are some tips that you can use when using Zoom during our meetings. Today, we're going to be looking at the different experiences that you have using Apple devices. So we're going to be going through the phone experience, the tablet experience, and the desktop experience. Now, big disclaimer here is that you may see differences on your end depending on the software version that you have installed, as well as if you have a basic or free account or a pro paid account. What is the difference there between your basic free pro paid account? Your basic account allows you to have one-on-one meetings that are really limited to about 40 minutes. Your pro account lets you have unlimited time, unlimited meetings with as many as people as you actually want participants in the meetings. Your basic account only lets you have a one-on-one meeting. You can't add more folks to it. Now, how many of you have felt this way? You're about to log into your Toastmasters meeting and you're just not able to log in. You're about to start your speech and share your presentation and it's not working. You're about to speak, to do your speech, and everybody's like, can't hear you. These things happen. Rest assured, you are not alone. We are all going through that at one point or another. So don't throw your computer to the window. Always look for updates. This is one big piece to make sure that your Zoom software is up to date. There's nothing worse than there could be an issue that can be easily corrected by just simply updating your software. By the time you're watching this, there's a good chance that your Zoom needs to be updated. Alone in the last 3 months, over 30 updates were made to the software. So if you just think of the sheer amount of updates that are happening, they're constant. Lighting. Lighting is so important when using Zoom. You don't want to have a lot of light coming from behind you. It will just cast a shadow. Folks won't be able to see you. You want to have light in front of you. Try to have a light, like in this picture here on the left, that's right pointed to your face, or have a nice bright lamp over to your right or left. It can really show a lot of light to your face. So this way your audience can connect with you. They can see the emotions. They can see happiness. They can really be pulled into your speech because they can really see your facial expressions, which are so critical and important when you're giving a speech. Now let's start looking at the different experiences. First off the bat would be your phone experience. Here is your control bar, typical options that you'll see on the tablet experience as well. You'll have your phone, your mute option, your video option, your share option, as far as sharing content, see participants, and then also the very powerful more option. Here's what the workflow looks like on your phone. You start off in your speaker view, which is that first picture on the left. Swipe over to the right, you're now in safe driving mode. You can still listen to your meeting. You can go ahead and click on tap to speak, and that unmutes you so you can now communicate with your participants. Swipe back to the left, you're back in speaker view. Swipe again to the left, you're now in gallery view. You're able to see 4 different participants in that window. Swipe to the right again, you're back into speaker view. So that's just the workflow, moving back and forth between the different view options. It's something I've heard before in meetings, folks say, where's my options? Where's the control bar? Everything's kind of gone. My screen is blank. I only see myself. Well, think about the real estate that's on your phone. Not that much space. So by default, the control bar will auto hide. So all you have to do is just tap on your screen and the control bar will reappear at the bottom of the window. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you're interested in seeing what information, the name of your Zoom meeting, the passcode, anything like that, you can click on the top center of Zoom and you're able to see all that information. Now, what about sharing your screen, sharing photos, sharing a file from a cloud drive? If you go to share content, all of those options are right there for you. Go over to more and you're able to go see some of the other options here as using emojis, but very typical for Toastmasters would be the chat option. When do you think you'd be using that? Typically, this would be during table topics. You have everybody doing their table topics, and at the end of table topics, the table topic master will say, send me a private chat with the person who you think is the winner. So you go click on more, click on chat, and that would give you your opportunity to send them a message. Here's that workflow. More, chat, you'll see all the participants, and then you'll be able to click on their name and then send them a direct chat. Very simple. Now let's move over to that tablet experience. Notice the control bar is pretty similar, because it really is. On the top left here, you'll have your opportunity to switch the camera between your front-facing camera to your back-facing camera. You'll be able to change from speaker view to gallery view. Notice on the top right, you'll have your control bar. And in this case here, in my gallery view, notice the green border. The green border lets you know in gallery view who is speaking. And very similar to the phone experience, share content gives you the ability to share your screen, share files from cloud drives. More gives you the opportunity to send a chat privately to Table Topic Masters again, or to everybody if you wanted to say great speech, and let that be a public chat. Your options right there. Next, let's look at the desktop experience. Now, again, big disclaimer here is that this is showing a lot of different options depending on the version that you have, depending on if you're on a basic or a pro account, these options may be different. I'm just showing you the ones here that are, this one actually is on a pro account, so that's where you're able to see breakout rooms and an option to record. In your speaker view, the speaker has main real estate on the screen. Your participants are on the top. Sometimes they're on the right-hand side. Gallery view, again, similar to the tablet, notice the green border, letting you know who is speaking. Now, really nice option here in gallery view is that if all participants are showing their video, you can click and drag around, rearrange the videos. I think this is actually quite a nice feature when you want to keep the timer's video in view. So if you're doing a speech, if you have a role and you're trying to keep it to a specific time and you want to make sure you don't lose sight of the timer's background or what the timer's trying to do to make sure you're on time, try to drag them into a spot, maybe the top left or top right, whatever makes sense for you, so that they are always in your view and you know how you're doing on time. Again, this is only going to work if all participants are sharing their video. In gallery view, you are able to see up to 49 participants. A little bit busy here, but notice that you do have that green border. So it will, again, let you know who is the one who's speaking. Now, really quickly, what I wanted to show here is that the toolbar can resize. The size of your desktop application, the Zoom application, you can expand it, right? You can make it wider, you can make it shorter and thinner, excuse me. And that could actually start hiding some of the control options, the control bar options that you see there. So at the left option here, notice that you have your chat option, very visible to you here, but on the right-hand side, it's not there. And just because it's been collapsed, it's hidden now, and it's now gonna be located under the more option. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you're looking for an option and you know that you have access to it, you're like, where did it go? Click on more and likely you'll find it right there. And notice the little blue arrow up here. This lets you toggle between different participants' windows so you can see other folks that are in the meeting. Chatting is very similar to your phone and your tablet experience. Click on chat. It'll open up actually in your desktop, it'll open up a whole pane here on the right-hand side. You'll have the ability to look at the different participants by clicking on that drop down. Again, table topics, look for the table topics master, look for their name there, click on their name, send them a private chat. The virtual backgrounds have really become quite popular. So I wanted to do one little slide dedicated to that, but disclaimer here is that really depending on your system, depending on your video card, that you may or may not have the ability to use virtual background. I think that Zoom is getting a little bit better to allowing more machines to use them, but there is a chance that you may not be able to use them due to your computer's limitation, your laptop's limitations. So just kind of keep that in mind. But where you can find those options, on the control bar, you'll see start video. There's a little caret there. click on that caret. You can go over to your virtual backgrounds, your video settings. This is what it would look like here under backgrounds and filters. There's a little plus here. It might be hard for you to see, but this is where you would look for photo images on your computer, and you could add them. You have to upload them using this little plus sign, and now they're going to be available to you as a virtual background. Right next to that is video filters. Not going to spend too much time here, but this is where you can have little fun things you could add, like putting sunglasses on yourself and things like that. Have fun with it. If you have an option to use it, maybe you could work it into a speech. Lastly is really looking at the settings. This is something that comes up a lot. Sometimes your microphone stops working. Sometimes you can't hear what other people are saying. Go to the settings and look at your audio settings. Look at what is the speaker. Make sure that it's correctly set. Which microphone is it using? Is it using your laptop microphone or your external microphone? This has happened to me before where somehow it gets switched and I have to go in here and manually select the correct one. Notice the options to test the speaker. This will play a little tone to make sure that it's working, and then you hear properly, that means it's working. And test microphone. This is really important. Highly recommend all of you to do that, because what it does is it gives you an opportunity to do a short recording, and then it'll play it back automatically so you can hear what do you sound like. If you want to raise the volume, lower the volume, really gives you a great opportunity to know what your audience is going to hear when you speak. So play around with these options and check them out. Lastly, thank you. Thank you so much for spending your time, and like I said in the beginning of this presentation, for visiting our Toastmasters YouTube page to learn a little bit more about how to use Zoom during our meetings. I really hope you got a lot out of this. It really was a lot of fun. Let us know if you have any questions, and good luck on your next one.